I don't care about that shit. That shit don't register to me. They just leading people astray, taking them on the path to nowhere. Oh yeah, the ATL Underground, like, please, man. You know what time it is now, magazine. Running that shit. Underground, Auburn Avenue, High Tower, Martin Luther King. Yeah, you had the Hebrew Israelites out there with the big megaphone and shit, forcing their information on people. We ain't have to force our information on nobody. You tell me somebody else besides Dr. Melchizedek and Dr. York L that provided a land and a literature for our people. Nobody else did that. Nobody else did that. You said they was looking for it. Yeah, they sure was, but they didn't have the gas money to make it to Wahani. They didn't have the gas money to make it that far. Dr. Reggie, Jabaria, please. You need to take several seats too. I know who you're talking about. He's not none of that. You need to take several seats as well. Anybody associated, like I said, I challenge any one of those niggas. I will challenge anyone. And see, that's the whole thing. It's beyond debate at this point. There's nothing to challenge. There's nothing to debate. That shit is over with. You said he a Kemet priest. When they use the word Kemet, that's a Masonic terminology. Kemet and Egypt. Those are Masonic terms. I have him tripped up like I had that one brother, probably one of his students that came here talking about they the reincarnation of Mantu. I broke that little nigga down so fast, he hurried up and shut the fuck up. He probably the one that got my live blocked. Because I'd be all on his ass like a boil. Yeah, dude came up, I'm the Egyptian god Mantu. I asked that nigga 2 questions. He couldn't even answer them. He's like, oh, I haven't been opened up to that part of the library. Man, get the fuck out of here with that. Why are you playing with the people like that, man? I had to endure the same thing listening to Rashad Jamal crazy ass. I'm the reincarnation of the ancestors. Nigga, we are the reincarnation of the ancestors. That's not nothing deep. Now, that might sound heavy to somebody that don't know shit about nothing. But you can't come across like that to somebody that knows something, man. I'm going to fucking question your ass first. I'm going to hit you with I already know I'm going to take it to you. But first, I'm going to ask you a few select questions and give you a chance to redeem your own character. Give you a chance to fess up and be like, hey, man, I just be fronting really. I don't really know stuff like that, but I just be feeling when I hit the blunt sometimes. Yeah, this is Q&A. That's what this is. I forgot to do it because it's the backup page, but this is Q&A with Dr.RÉ. If you are new to your spiritual journey, if you are just leaving the confines of organized religion, if you are COVID or quarantine woke, or if you use the word woke in order to exhibit your degree of enlightenment, these lives are dedicated to you. If you have never been initiated into any spiritual order or system, these lives are dedicated to you. If you have 10 years or less on your journey, these lives are dedicated to you. And I implore for you to ask your questions in the comments section. This is Q&A with Dr.RÉ. We cover everything under, over, and within the sun, under, over, and within the planet, over and under and within the corporeal form, on world and off world and into the afterlife. That's the spectrum of questions that I'm capable of answering. And if I can't answer the question, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I can. You hear me? Y'all come on, y'all tap that screen. We passed 5,000 likes. I know this is my backup page. Everybody don't know it like that, but you know. So what name do you use besides Kemet in Egypt? That's an excellent question. Y'all tap that screen for me. I gotta go grab my lawnmower. It's about to rain. Tap the screen. We're gonna take it up to the whiteboard. See, you kind of new here, Izzy. I'm gonna show you how we get out. This is how I knew a B would do it. If you won't see them dudes on 363 do this. Y'all tap that screen for me. I just had to grab my lawnmower. It's about to rain outside. So yeah, we don't use that word Egypt. Egypt is a Hyksos word, right? See, this from earlier. This from earlier when we was building. Take all of this out off the board. See, we don't use the word Egypt. We don't use the word Kemet. That gives them a timeline to tie themselves to. Because when you say the word Kim, or Kemet, right? That's him. Ham. Ham. That just means black. Right? Egypt is really Egyptos. Right? Yes. You didn't see me back there? Ta, ma, re. Right? Ta, ma, re. And it was really called the land of Am, Mun, Ra, or Re. That go from the tip of Alexandria, Liberia, Alexandria, all the way down into Mozambique. All of the so-called countries, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, the Congo, which is pretty much Uganda, Nubia, Somali, Sudan, Ethiopia, Abyssinia. All of that is the land of Amun Ra. That little Egyptos part, Egyptos means burnt face gypsies. That was a derogatory terminology that the people of the land of Amun Ra, that's the land, the people in the land of Amun Ra called them that. Burnt face gypsies. Because what happens to pale people when they get in the sun? It burns their ass. It burns them. Just like the term redneck. Right? That came from them wearing a fez. Right? They tell you about a fez, which we call a tarbouche. They didn't have a tarbouche. This is how their fez started off. For my generation X, y'all know about this if y'all watch the Flintstones. They used to wear that little hat. Y'all remember that? He said the first church was Alexandria, Egypt. No, I never said that. Are you asking the question? Shouts out to Izzy. Are you asking the question? Okay, no. Their first church was in Antioch. We didn't use the terminology church. See, those are Canaanite terms. Those are not our terms. They didn't even know what a term was until they was granted access into Akkad by their overlord, who was called Sargon I. Your Bible refers to Sargon I as Nimrod. His name was never Nimrod. That's just the name that they chose to call him. Just like the land of Jihan and Pihan. They're telling you about Nubia and Sudan. And in fact, other Bibles, older Bibles, if you read through Genesis chapter 2, past verse 10, they say the name Nubia in Sudan. And the gold of that land was good. And they took that out of the cuneiform tablets that they excavated in the mid-1800s, under a man by the name of Austin Henry Laynard, who headed that excavation of Nineveh. We just got through talking about this on the main page. We're going over it again. But when they excavated the temple of Nineveh, which when they found it, if y'all ready to go there, we will. It was a mound. That's what it was. It was just a mound. And when they found that mound, he said it's something up under that mound. They thought it was a pyramid, but it wasn't a pyramid. It was a full city. And that was the city of Akkad, which they called Nineveh. Right? This is where they first started to learn literature and art, about law. They started to learn about rulership and successorship and hierarchies. They didn't know about none of that shit. They was even put in a position to be the custodians of Akkad. And from 1750 BCE, don't believe me, look it up. That's when they first came into power. And within 100 years, they was in Egypt. You see that? By 1600 BCE, they started telling everybody around, yeah, we Egyptians. We the original Egyptians. Man, that word got down there to Nubia, where everybody stay at. And it got to this man named Ahmose. Ahmose the first. Right? Ahmose the first heard about these burnt-faced gypsies saying that they was running a place called Egypt in the land of Amun-Re. He said, man, y'all better go power my boat up. We about to go up there and go see about this shit, and kicked all of their ass out. And by 1540 BCE, the burnt-faced gypsies had been removed. They started to go back across the Mediterranean into parts of Bulgaria, Russia, I said Romania, Bulgaria, Russia, Italy, Rome. That's how they started to go off into them areas. And that's how they started to establish those particular provinces, if you will. They ain't had no choice. And they were quite cannibalistic because they didn't know how to grow their own food. You hear me? Now, by 325 BCE is when Alexander the Fake, who y'all call Alexander the Great, that's when his whole ass came back into Egypt. Look at how many years ago. Let's see here. Let's do the math. That's 4. That's 1, 1. Yeah, that's right. No, we had to take another one. Let me take it back. That's 12. 2. 1,225 years. 1,225 years. It took them 1,225 years to respond to the shit that Ahmose the First did to them. They don't want you to know that. But what they'll do, Alexander the Great, he likes little boys, which he did. They were accustomed to little boys. It took y'all that long to respond? You didn't spin the block. That's not spinning the block. See, I got one more question. I got to get this in. What is the story of Moses in Egypt? Yeah, you got to follow my main page, man. I got that pinned to the top of the page. Now, Moses, there was no Moses. They cannot prove that a Moses ever existed. They know about Thutmose. They know about Ahmose. And they know about Moses. You see that? Also called Ramesses, who is the only person in the Bible that you could prove actually existed. Everybody else in that Bible is a speculation. There's no proof that they ever existed. And they take Ramesses the first, the second, and the third. And they parade their body and their bones and their concubines, their children and their maids across every museum across the world and charges $60 to $100 to view them. If they had the body or the bones of Moses, they'd be doing the same thing. If they had any proof of any of that malarkey they'd be trying to propagate or advocate to people, they would be rubbing it in your face. Please know that they would. But they always fall short to their own folly. We about to go into 555, and I'm going to call out the 99 Netzeru. You can call out the 99 Netzeru. No, he's never existed. There's no proof that he ever existed. And it's a whole bunch of anthropologists with pale skin that will back up my claim what I'm saying here. Abdul Kul Tafalat, Wabazun bi Bamu El Karum. Who partner to that? Minu Nut Sheu Kawun, Ilabihu, Atumre, Nu Nunet, He Het, Kek Kikek Amun Amunet, Atum Shu Tefnut, Geb, Nut, Oset, Osoru, Neptet, Satuk Haru, Happy, Anquit Anti Nefertum. Mantu Bepti Sekmet, Hedhar Bes, Patah, Bas, Amhotep. Who me hurt, Kepri, Meskahenit, Raet, Kentemintu, Hika Nif, Mayat, Renintat, Shah, Sishat, Mafdat, Sobek, Anubu, Kanum Kansu Tanin, Sia, Hikat, Amsu, Sarapi, Atumre, Tahuti, Taret, Selket, Ha, Nehepka, Sokar, Bait, Akir, Anihirit, Wabwawit, Siket, Hetep, Marezgir, Sia, Gadet, Astinu, Bahutit, Kanimtet, Menket, Hem, Madudi, Kabasinu, Duamutef, Merit, Ura, Edru, Nekebit, Siket, Anuket, Jet, Tim Ua, Uis, Anku, Afnuit, Satisekti, Imta'a, Ninna, Emuet, Mseti, Kimamu, Reshef, Mary, Amun-Re. For the sake of all. Kawu. Who am I now? Yeah, but that being never existed. You're welcome, beloved. I'm just carrying my fair portion. Now, these beings never existed. And I'm telling you, I don't care what they claim. Most of these people don't even know the 99 Netzeru that be saying that they're I'm a high priest, I'm a this and I'm a that. You ain't a none of that. I'm gonna test you. And I'm gonna question your ass. And when I question you, you're gonna slip up. That hair gonna grow all on their tongue. I don't care who it is. If they don't believe it, they don't belong to Wahani. If you can't produce a certificate of acceptance from the Grand Hierophant, and you out here sticking out your chest saying that you anything, I'm gonna check the shit out your ass. Because I know you're lying. Especially if you wasn't down there helping with them pyramids. If you wasn't down there on the front line. If you wasn't down there, right? Helping build up that land. I don't want to hear what you got to say. Because you don't have no excuse for why you wasn't there. But the second that the second the feds came and shut the land down, now all of these damn master teachers start coming out of everywhere like roaches with the lights on. You hear me? They knew that day would come. And only one person I give some credit to. I give some credit to the one brother that called himself Ahmos. Shouts out to Ahmos, one of the students of Dr. Ben Yakinen. In his last days, that was the only person that was there for him. I remember that shit. Yeah, I see everything, my nigga. Because I know they watching right now. And I'm glad that you're watching. But Ahmos the first, or Ahmos, the brother with the, said Egypt was a black land. He had wrote that song, the big diesel nigga, with the consul braid in his head. Because that's where we got that name from. And that was the only man, and the ancestors be with him, Dr. Ben Yakinen. He was the only man to correct Dr. Malachi York. And Doc admitted that he was wrong and said I had to recant what I said. Yeah, Shaka Akmos. That's the only one that I got some reverence and respect for because he was there with his elder until he died. Stood by his side. He even asked people to donate money. And for that Sarah suit and SETI ass nigga, because he tried to say that Dr. Henry Clark was his teacher. You was not enrolled in that college, my nigga. And I got respect. May the ancestors be with Dr. Henry Clark as well. Right? Said, I need an organite pendant, bro. It's Monty. Okay. Damn, Monty, why you saying Jesus is king, my nigga? That shit threw me off. Hit me up, Monty. Hit me up. Okay. Now, Sarah Suit and SETI and Dr. Henry Clark, may the ancestors be with them. And the same thing with Dr. Ben Yakinen. This is where they was falling short and why people from the grassroots organizations here in America, they couldn't get a full ashe from the people because you was getting a check cut from the Caucasian man that was suppressing the information about these people. And that never got addressed. Y'all try to just brush that over and act like it didn't happen. But that man was teaching out of Penn State University, I want to say. He was using their stuff in order to get his knowledge off. But he was giving that knowledge to people that had paid tuition to go to that college. Do you hear me? I'm just keeping it 10K. Because you're supposed to be able to turn that wisdom into wealth. Going back to what I was telling Nine Magazine. See, that's the full test. And I'm a newer beer through and through. I'm not afraid to put myself on a line like that and turn this wisdom into wealth from the ground up. Meaning, I don't need to go take a job with somebody else in order to keep what I got going. My ancestors got me. My dearly departed have me. And I'm under the guidance of the Neteru. That should be sufficient enough. And I said the same thing into the afterlife to Henry Clark as well. And I said, nigga, you still collected a check after you fucking retired. You got a pension from that university. And you didn't use any of that money to start up your own institution to teach your people free of charge. So you would never be held in the high esteem of those that did. Like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Like my supreme grandmaster teacher before me. You hear me? Like Noble Drew Ali. They didn't run to the pink man to help them with to advocate for the enlightenment of their people. You said a cardinal. Of course they did. Same thing with Marcus Garvey. Shouts out to Marcus Garvey. He did not depend on them. Says Zion Lex is the only one that has great credibility. I don't know how old you are, Izzy, but I'm telling you, I don't even watch none of that shit. I watch I watch Emergency Awesome before I watch anything associated with Sodnetter, that 363 nigga, all of them, because they took that shit from me too. But I ain't gonna even go there right now. I don't watch none of that on YouTube. I watched the little nerdy white dude tell me about the Marvel movie before I watched that. Say he on his own? I'll check him out. I'll do my best because I got a whole community off of here. This is what I do 24/7, 365. You see the brother Jesus is King. Like, hey, man, I'm trying to get a pyramid. You hear me? We got an event coming up. For those that don't know, we got an event. San Antonio, Texas, July the 25th. This will be our 15th event. The Ancestral Altar Activation Workshop. If you want to learn how to construct an activated altar, say you study both Hebrew and Egyptian. Again, I'm going to repeat it again to you. Hebrew is not a language. Egyptian is not a language. Those are not languages. Those are terminologies that were made by Canaanites. Right? Those are terminologies. Those are not languages. Now, Yiddish, it's a man by the name, he said that's what he called it. I want you to check out this man right here. His name is Leo Weiner. Leo Weiner. One of the last discredited anthropologists that viewed and surveyed the temples of El Manati, where the first offering sites were found of the Olmecs and the pyramids that were erected in Teotihuacan. This dude is a linguistic master. He ain't as bad as the doc. He's not as bad as Dr. York with the languages, but he's a linguistic master. And he speaks every dialect of Yiddish, Russian, French, Latin. Nobody can fuck with this dude. And they sent his ass over there. The Tres Post, I hope I'm saying it right. Tres Paras. He sent them to Tres Paras to go view the Olmec heads. And he said, beyond a shadow of a doubt, those are Nubian people. Called them Nubians. In the 1800s, said those are Nubians. Oh, that was the late 1800s. Because they tried to discredit everything about that man. But they hated because he could speak languages. That was the same thing with John Wycliffe, who came up with the word God, right? Who transliterated it to mean God in English, right? I understand. But that's limited to, Dr. York spoke 23 languages fluently, and he could write 19 of them letter for letter and transliterate them back into English. Letter for letter. So for all y'all people to say, oh, he didn't write this and he didn't really write that, can your ass translate a book from its original language letter for letter? Because what be tripping me out about the slanderers of the dot is y'all ain't even did a 1/64th of the shit that this man did. But you got the nerve to say some shit against him. That's like you talking shit about Michael Jordan and getting on the court with him and getting your ass bust every time. It's like you try to get on the court with LeBron James, like he not gonna post you up and have his way with you. That's what y'all do with the doc. And like I said, next to the doc, because I done did my research, it's this guy. And listen, he's a Jew. He was a Jew. And he stood up for our people. But they had never let you know about this dude. But I just did. And he wrote a book. Listen, he wrote a book, Africans' Influence on Western Civilization, Volume 1, 2, and 3. Them shits is thick like that. You think they want you to know about that? If I ain't say it right now, y'all would never even know about it. And I'm writing all about his ass in my new book, Negativity. That's the new book I'm working on, Negativity. What is negativity, Dr. Ray? It's an integration of a nigga and negativity coming together. When you see when you see brothers with their ass showing, with them little jeans on, and they got they buttocks showing and shit, that's negativity. If you cursing in front of your elders and making them feel uncomfortable, that's negativity. You hear me? You're exhibiting negativity. If you're scantily cladded around children and older elders, for the women, that's negativity. If you talking loud on the phone where everybody can hear your business, that's negativity. If you're exhibiting a behavior of a lowly nature, that is negativity. And you're going to exhibit negativity quite easily if you don't have an identity. Because no one that does not belong to your community, that has not shared in your plight, in your struggle, has the capability of labeling you. However, if you have allowed one of those monikers to fall over you, you are a byproduct of negativity. If you identify with the term African American, if you identify with the term black, if you identify with the term Negro or colored, there's a high probability that you exhibit negativity on a daily basis. You say, it's not ready yet. If I end it right now, it's not gonna hit home the way I want it to. The way I want this shit to hit, y'all gonna hate to say the word nigga. You're gonna be checking yourself at every turn and make sure you don't use it. It'll start leaving a bad taste in your mouth. And when you see somebody exhibiting negativity, you're gonna let them know about negativity. So I'm very meticulous when I write. That way I could drive my point home and a person cannot say that they had not been told. That's just the way that I write. Right? But when it comes, you need to come join our community, Sahu. Come join the community, and you will get the inside track when I drop that. Because that ain't the only book I'm working on. I'm working on like 4 or 5 books right now. Right? One of them, Physical Knowledge, Anunnaki, Anu sent us to key on crafts in groups of 50. And I'm putting everything in its appropriate context so that we could get rid of a lot of the conjecture that ends up spreading through the so-called conscious community. And I cannot stand that term because mosquitoes are conscious. My cat, Gary, where you at, Gary? My cat is conscious. The fly that came in here when I went to get my lawnmower, it's conscious. If I try to hit him with the fly swatter, I got my fly swatter right here. That motherfucker be like, oh shit, here we come. And he gonna fly over there somewhere and try to get away from me. That takes consciousness. So when they when they came up with that terminology, I'm almost sure the CIA gave it to them. They started saying that, you know, well, it's the conscious community. Nigga, everybody conscious. Go out there and try to touch the squirrel that's moving across the fence. Before you even think about it, that nigga done jumped off that fence. That takes consciousness. That little alley cat that you be seeing all the time, you try to touch that cat, he gonna zip up the alley real fast on your ass. He don't want you touching him. He gonna jump to higher ground on your ass and he don't trust you. That takes consciousness to exhibit that type of behavior. And I'm saying this to give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about as far as conjecture is concerned. Now, if they're leading with that and saying that this is the so-called conscious community, right? Imagine how much more shit they got off. Because them niggas is off. And they taking people on a path to nowhere. I got too many people who are the byproduct of or recipient of what I have put out here and have showed them how to become empowered under their own volition. I just give you the instruction and the direction. You follow it to a T, and that's on you. You just put the damn organite around your neck, and you're going to see synchronicities happen in your life like you couldn't even imagine that shit to be possible like that. It go beyond explanation. When you start dealing with the spirit transcends explanation. It transcends reasoning. That's why you need to have sound reasoning in place and have a right mind in order before you step into spiritual knowledge. Because it's going to transcend the laws of physics. It's going to transcend your explanation and your ability to reason. So you got to have a foundation to be standing on when you stepping into that direction. And most of these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. I even gave props to Sarah Suit and Seti. Because a brother told me, he was like, yo, I got a teacher. I said, who was your teacher? He said his teacher was Sarah Suit and Seti. Right? And I said, you know what? I get at a Ashe. Because Sarah Suit and Seti, listen, he says that he had a teacher too. He said his teacher is Dr. Henry Clark. Now, I don't know if he went to Penn State University or what. That's beside the point. Dr. Henry Clark is a teacher, and he considered himself to be one of his students. So when the brother was telling me that he was a student in Sarah Suit and Seti, that shit got nothing but an ashe from me. Because he tell you who his teacher was. He tells you who it was that he looked up to or that who guided him. But most of these people are self-taught. And I said this earlier in monologue. A lot of y'all wasn't in here. And I was telling y'all that the people was hold on, so who the hell is this? What is this nigga doing in front of my crib? Now, I was saying earlier, most of these people that say that they self-taught, get away from them because they haven't had a teacher, meaning that they also were never a student. And when you're a student, there's a high probability that you're going to be corrected. You're going to be incorrect. So the being that is teaching you should have the capability to turn your incorrect thinking into a correct thinking. What you was getting wrong, they'll show you how to get it right. And most of these so-called soft, self-taught ass niggas, they still, somebody still need to correct their head. They never been corrected. So when they see somebody like me on a platform like this, dropping at the rate that I am, it makes them kind of pessimistic to step forward because they know that they don't have no firm foundation that they standing under. They know that they don't. I can humble myself real quick and become a student. Very studious and take very good notes and ask questions and then still shift back into teacher mode. I play both sides of the field. I had a supreme grandmaster teacher. And what his job was to do was to raise master teachers. That's what his job was to do, and he did it. I'm a byproduct of his efforts. What do you say for my newer beer in the room? Especially those in the AEO. Because we spell Egypt with an I for the ignorant. Because we know people don't know about Tama-Re. We know they don't know the name Amen-Re or Amen-Ra. Because that's the Hyksos of Ra. It's really Re. He said you got to eat, breathe, sleep, shit, talk, walk Egyptian. That shit got to be in you and out you. That's all I'm on 24/7. I open up my closet, I see Egypt in my closet. I open up my drawers, I see Egypt in my drawers. I open up my eyes, it's Egypt standing in front of me. I look to the right of me, I see Egypt. Over my bed, I got an Ankh. I walk into my hallway, I got Egyptian pictures. I look on this wall, I got a picture of the dock as a hierophant with the Haru hawk. I got everywhere. And my children grew up. I didn't have to force that on them. They seen that every day. They stand upright. They're not ashamed of who they are. You hear me? They know it. My son's name is Ani, like the papyrus of Ani. Ani Haru. See the Haru? Right? I threw away all my ball caps. Now I just wear these type of caps. Some goofy gonna ask me one day, hey, bro, what team is that? I'm looking around like, you talking to me? He said, yeah, bro, what team is that on your hat? I said, oh, bro, this ain't no team. I said, you know what? It is a team. It's the winning team. He said, the winning team? Is that, I don't know. What is it? I just walked away from the nigga. I didn't even want to educate him because it wasn't like he was going to be receptive to it. Then I had another brother approach me and say, man, ask me, and they asked me on the live too. They asked me in real time, are you in the Illuminati? Like, huh? Yeah, because it's on your hat. That's the Illuminati. That means it's evil. Like, you's an idiot. Right? Like, what the hell is going on here? You been spellbound that tough that you believe what somebody tell you that something is the Illuminati and you didn't even investigate it? Wait a minute. Then you got the internet at the tip of your fingers. You got if you got a smartphone, you got a fucking laptop in your hand. There's no way that ignorance is a choice. Stupidity is a choice. It's no excuse in this day and time. It's no excuse. Like I said, y'all people you 40, 50 years old, I got very short patience for you. I got very short patience. And the reason being is because it's been too many teachers and leaders that have been on the front line and have dedicated their lives to the evolution of our consciousness. And you chose not to, you made a willing choice not to align yourself with that. That's your fault. It's the children's turn. And they getting younger and younger as they come into our community. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to my little sister Angela. Right? Or is it Angelina? I don't know how I'll be so mixed up when I see how you spell your name. But Angelina, she the youngest member of our community. And we got another, he might be a year older than you. Shouts out to Khalil. Khalil might be about 17. He meditating and everything. Spazzo, Jonas, Ibby. I seen you in here, Ibby. Ibby just turned 21. He been rocking with me for 3 years. And it's a litany of others. Forgive me if I didn't call your name out. The question. I've been studying the Black Book when it talks about the tomb geneticists. Okay, what's your question? What's your question, you Sauter? Or your Sar, as you would say? I don't know that dialect too well, but I'll follow you. Wow, thank you. Look what I just found inside my Black Book. I just opened up my Black Book and I found some Santa Muerte notes. These are ancestor money. And it was on the page of Mr. I Am. See, Mr. I Am? Where you was at in the Black Book? You said we talked about the tomb, geneticists. That's incomplete. I'm trying to see what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Yeah, that's wild. Everything I just got through putting up on the board was right here in the Black Book. And that brother just asked about the Black Book. To just show you how in alignment, you become with this information once you've been studying it for years. And that's Genesis 10:10. Look in Genesis 10:10, and it's going to tell you all about Nineveh, something else they call Calne. That's another name. They all trying to hide the name. Do I got it up here? I ain't even put it up here. Akkad. And they put that name in there too. Genesis 10:10. But they spell it with 2 C's. They don't use the K. He said, is there a special type of paper you use to make the ancestor money? Yes, it is. Yes. It's a certain type of weight. It's not regular weighted paper. It's quite pricey. It's pricey. It's so I can put the watermarks, the hikayus, and the sequence of powers into the notes. And you can't see it. You can see it faintly, but you won't be able to read it because I swore an oath not to share the words of power that I receive, but I watermark them in the notes. And that's how that works. I hope that answered your question. I don't know what happened to the young Yasar with the question that he asked. Yeah, but that's right. I'm reading here with the Dairo. What is mentioned in the Bible? It's talking about Babel, Erech, another Akkad, another Calne, another also the land of Shinar. He said, my question is the geneticist Atum-Re. That's still you being vague, brother. Come on, Joseph. You gotta do better than that. You saying, are you I don't know where you're coming from. I don't want to speculate. I can only respond to your question as clearly as you ask it. So if you ask me a fragmented question, I'm gonna have to give you a fragment. I don't want to give you a fragmented answer. My question is it has a limited in the characters? I don't know what you mean. That's not clear. Oh, you said TikTok is limiting the character or your questioning. Oh, yeah, they do that sometimes. They be on that sucker shit. You might want to be careful. They already done blocked my main page, just my backup page. My question is, can you speak on the tomb geneticists? Are you saying, can I speak on our tomb as a geneticist? Is that what you're pontificating? Well, our tomb in the terms of a geneticist, right? Let me see where I got this at. Let me just go to my chat GPT so I can expound on this based on what you just asked. Hold on a second. Are you familiar with the 99 net rule? Yeah, you had to find a page for that. But what I'll tell you is this: when you use the word atum, I don't know how I don't know how familiar you are with the 99 net rule. I don't know how familiar you are with that. Are you familiar with the 99 net rule? Are you familiar with the 99 net rule? No? Okay. You say you're studying. Okay. You kind of knew. Atum, that's the first point of light. Atum-RÉ, right? Atum appears again, Atum-RÉ, at the 10th point, or as the 10th Neteru as well, right? He also appears again as Nefertum, the 23rd Neteru, right? When he appears here, it's the undifferentiated one. When he appears here at the 10th point, he appears as the complete one. You follow that? We're going to take this all the way into the geneticists. No. Looking at my Ashatat. Just to avoid. And then at the 23rd point, he is young Atum. You see that? Now, this word Atum is synonymous with the word Adam. Adam. And in 1 nanogram equals 1 sperm cell. See that? Equals 1 sperm cell, which is 10 to the 14th power, which will give you 10 trillion atoms. So when Atum comes out of nothingness and passes through the noon, through the primordial chaos, and he comes through the mysterious gateways of eternity and becomes complete at the 10th point, all the way to the 23rd point, where he becomes a young Atum and starts off as a nanogram called the sperm cell. He goes through the phases and the changes of spirit, that's Shu, tough nut, moisture, and then he enters Geb through 14, the sky, right? Comprised in the mother, 15, who was Osset, by way of Asaru or Nepthu, because she was the first one to get impregnated, not Osset. Satut, the shining one, who was not really in placement there. You got Haru, right? Who was also representative of that nanogram. But before Haru took that stage or took that procession, everything started with Atum. And it's unindifferentiated. That's why they call him the unindifferentiated one. So it wasn't predetermined where the genetics of Atum would meet its completion as young Atum. It was undetermined at this time. So when you come out the noon, listen, when you come out the noon, you become a fish, right? That was the first evolution. The second one was the serpent. The third one was the frog. That's the 8 Agduad. Are you familiar with them? The Rashunat, right? So when you're talking about the geneticists, and I don't know where it's at in the black book. I don't know where you're talking about or where you abstracted that from. But I'm just breaking down based on the question that you asked me. Because Atum starts off at the first point. And that's where they get the terminology for an atom. And it's unindifferentiated, where one atom begins, because the first atom is what? Hydrogen. Right? And I don't know where the geneticists, where you coming from with that? Geneticists was talking about the genes, right? And if you're saying the geneticist, that means that this being had to be manipulating genes or tampering with genes in some type of way, right? Now, if it's a background story in regards to that, I just know the symbolisms of Atum, the first point, unindifferentiated, and from the hydrogen atom, leaning up to the nanogram, not even the sperm cell, just the nanogram that make up the first fish. That's why when you look on, you can see it on this statue here. You see the scales? And if you look on the statue of Ptah, it got scales at the bottom. On all the sarcophaguses, they got scales at the bottom. They're telling you, they letting you know that you came out the water. So our genetics came out the water. It had to go through the evolutionary organisms that came out the water. And it started with the water itself, hydrogen, right? Then it became a fish. Then Atum became a snake or a serpent. Then he became a frog. That's Kek and Kikek. Before then, it's Het and He Het. So once it became a frog, then it turned back into mystery again, right? He says it's around 326 and 328. Hold on a second. Let me say that on that page with that ancestor money. I'm going to start using my ancestor money I got to use it to hold this book together. Whoa. Okay. Let me see here. Hieroglyphs. So this shoe, actual person. Like I don't see it, but I see everything that I've been dropping though. I don't see what you're talking about. So once it got to the 8th point, did I put the 8th up there? No, we went to 8 first. Atum-Re. Then you got Amun. And Amunet, who sit at 8 and 9. They deal with the hidden mysteries. So it's a hidden mystery. Listen, it's a hidden mystery how Atum, no, it's okay, how Atum ended up becoming a hidden mystery. He became hidden. So it turned from a frog into a spirit, which is at number 11. And it's talking about that on 328. If you look in your black book, it says the beginning of plant life, the 3rd stage. See, this is the 3rd stage that you coming in on. The ancient Tama-Re deity over plant life is called Renenutet, also called Thermuthis. I am known as the Natir Amanubi Rakuta, also called Atum-Re in Tomb. Must let my voice be heard on this great day. Right? The great Afirti, Amanimus, the 3rd, resting on the limestone base, is the one who decorated the temple of Sobek in Kaman Fares and dedicated and built the temple to Renenutet at a city near Cairo, Egypt today. Is this a Tamarian ritual? Yes, this dedication was on behalf of life, growth, vegetation, the provider. I don't understand. I'm still kind of perplexed about what your question is. But to answer your question about Atum, the geneticist, now he's telling you that his name is Tum, right? He got to let his voice be heard. Because that's a surname, if you will, that the people amongst his council would call him, right? Atum-Re or Tum, right? Tum or Atum. When he put the Tum on there, he was making a distinction from the unindifferentiated one. He already knew this because he wrote it out. And if you, like you said, you don't know about the 99 Neteru, but Atum-Re appears 3 times in the 99 Neteru. That was one of the Paruti questions I asked a lot of my students. Show me the 3 places. Do y'all remember that? Mother Edinburgh, I'm sure you probably remember that. But I said, Atum show up 3 places in the 99 Neteru. And nobody got it. They found 2 of them, but they didn't know the 3rd one, right? And that's when he rebirthed as a young Atum. And the representation of the child being born from deity, which the personification of that first appears through Haru. But really, it first appears through Anubu, who was not included in the Enad. So, Anubis is not included in the company of deities, even though he's the big brother of Haru. He's the first son of Asaru, right? He's the first son of Asaru. He is the reason why Satuk chopped up Asaru in his sarcophagus. Because when Satuk came back from fighting Apophis with his grandfather Ré in the underworld, when he came back home to his wife, Neptu, she was pregnant with child. And he asked her, who got you pregnant? And she said, Asaru got me pregnant. So she was carrying Asaru's child. And Auset is the one that took the sperm from Asaru and used it as in vitro fertilization for her sister first. That's how she knew what to do with his sperm after he had been slew. So the first young Atum to come forth was Anubu. A lot of people are not aware of that, right? So Anubu, who y'all call Anubis, is the first son of Asaru. And Haru is the second son of Asaru. But he's the first son of Auset. But before you got into the personification form, which the gestation came through the womb of Auset and Neptu by way of Asaru. That's why he's sitting between them on the 99 Neteru. You follow? Satuk was not included, but Haru was given that seat because it came out of his father. You hear me? So that seed that was placed in Neptu shouldn't have never happened. Let's see what you're talking about here. It said 308 and 309. Okay. No, my book toe up. See how my book is? It said toe up, man. So what does that have to do with Adam? Are you telling me, see, let me look, well, how does the time array part fit in? I mean, so this Atun was the son of Noon. Yeah, it's pretty much saying the same thing I just said in this Atun. Yeah, it's pretty much saying the same thing. You know, the dot can be a little bit verbose, as my brother Leo says a lot, right? I'm still trying to figure out what your question is, though. But once you get on the other side of Haru, because it's a full story, and I've told this story a few times in our community room. Happy, who was the digger, and also the first son of Haru, right? See that? Happy is the digger. That's one of the four sons of Haru. Anti, who is the netter. And then you got Anquet, who is the ferryman. That's the ferryman that takes the boat. He said, is there three incarnation of divine genes? Yes. 1/3 of you is your mother. 1/3 of you is your father. And then there's 1/3 of you that's you. That's the spark of life. We just got through talking about this. The divine you that predated your mother and father. Those are the three divine genes. So your mother has a portion of her that's not her mother and father, and your father has a portion of him that's not his mother and father, and you also have a portion of you that's not your mother and father. That's the spark of life, right? That's the light that keeps on giving. And that light came out of Amun, right? Who was the great grandfather, the majestic Amun Ra or Amun-Re. Those are your three incarnations. So it's 1/3 of you that's your mother and there's 1/3 of you that's your father. That makes up your body. See that? And then you, the spark of life that incarnates into that shell, right? That's right. That's right. Phonetically, Adam is Adam into Atum, right? In the atom, it takes 10, listen to this, it takes 10 trillion, look at the 10. For all my radiologists, y'all know when we use these numbers, we always line them up with the Neteru. So when you see the number 10, you see the 10th Neteru, who is Atum. Atum is the atom. And it takes 10 trillion atoms to make up 1 nanogram or 1 sperm cell. 1 sperm cell got 10 trillion atoms in it. You can't even see a sperm cell without using a micro electro telescope. And you look into that telescope and you see one of those sperm cells got over 10 trillion atoms in it. You hear that? You, that spark of life, is inside that cell. And this is like a biosphere when you incarnate into that cell. It doesn't feel like a cell. It feels like you in a utopia. That's how much of you is needed in order to incarnate in the cell. And that energy signature that does incarnate into that cell, it came from a much bigger, right? Much bigger aspect of reality than what you currently are faced with. In other words, listen, you belong to the physical universe. And the way that you look at a germ in a microscope, the way that you look at that germ is like you looking into a universe. And from the spiritual universe, you incarnated into the physical universe, which is about the size of a germ in scale with the spiritual universe. And all of you, just like all of you can't fit into one single germ that you see in a microscope, all of you couldn't fit into this universe. You follow? Because it was about the size of a germ. So you had to take a particle of yourself, an atom, and incarnate into a form, a vehicle that would allow you to journey from an undifferentiated one all the way to a young Atum. And Atum went through several stages. And you can see this in the 99 Neteru. So pull up the 99 Neteru and you will see what it's talking about. And it's showing you right here because Atum is one of the 3 rays of suns, namely Atum, Atun, and Amun, of the Egyptian gods called the Neterus, who first abode after leaving Ritz was Siptu, also called Sirius, and In, which is also called Ilion, before coming to this Milky Way, which is the name of this galaxy. in which this planet is a part. Question, I thought Atum was a person, not the sun. And you are right. In the one respect, Atum as Atum-Re, or simply Tum, was the great alchemist from the 19th galaxy of Ilium, and of which Sirius was a part of that. And this Atum came to Earth. Came, yes, this Atum called Atum-Re, or Tum, was one of the incarnated Neteru priesthood called Sim, and was the father of the project Noon. That is said, Noon gave birth to Atum. And like I aforementioned, he came from the other side of nothingness into the primordial abyss, out through the primordial abyss, through the vehicle of a fish, then a snake, then a frog, then he turned into spirit. After he turned into spirit, he took part on the land. That's Geb. You see that? And he came from the sky. That's Nut. Into the womb of Arset. I hope you can follow where I'm going with that. Because it right here is telling you. So this Atum was the son of Noon. Yes, symbolically speaking, as it was taught previously, Atum is the son of the force of the chaotic waters, right? Noon, whose semen was placed in the womb of Nunet, his consort, bred Atum, and this germ as the sea man. See, we just got through talking about all of this. They're great. Oh yeah, right on, Joseph. I'm glad to have you come in and ask these questions. Right? I'm glad that I was able to bring forth some clarity in these regards as well. Right? So when it's talking about the seed man, the sperm cell, Atum, which is the atom, because it's all allegory and symbolism. That's how they layer things. It's sort of like speaking in double entendres and how the rappers be rapping and they be meaning 2 or 3 different things. That's genetic. You know, the segue back into what you said about the divine genetics, that's part of your genetics to be that way. It's hotter than fish grease, right? We're not saying that we laying in fish grease, but it's hot like fish grease. It's hot as an oven, right? My grandmother used to say it feel like the devil on my back porch. Like, we always got similes and metaphors and allegory. That's how we used to speak when we did have to speak, because we didn't know who was listening to what we were saying, and we didn't want them to understand the messages we were sending back and forth to one another. Yeah. Anybody else? Any other questions? You got another one, Joseph? Shouts out to Joseph 9. Follow my main page, Joseph. Dr.RÉ or at Patah Baby. At Patah Baby. Follow me there. Anybody else? Any other questions? Yeah, we're going to be coming to the backup page, you guys, for all my tech members. You know, let all the people know. We're going to start coming to the backup page. They did suspend the live. That's just how it goes. Y'all know how they do me. Y'all know how they do Dr.RÉ, man. They going to suspend that live. I give you too much truth. They like, oh, man, you trying to wait. We like people. They like for people to be dumb and dormant. They need you to thrive in negativity. They need you to be ratchet. They need you to have a hot girl summer and a hot boy summer. They don't need you to tap into the Neteru, because that identifies and reflects you. And once you start tapping into this stuff, please, you become unimpressed with everything that he has to offer. You don't think the Illuminati that came to me? Them fuckers that came to me 4 times this year alone. And I turned them down every time. They start fucking with my bank accounts. Start making me trip and turn the people around me against me. trying to gang stalk me. That shit don't work. I made it out the hoods of Detroit, Michigan. You hear me? It ain't, yo, man, you're not about to shake me up. All you doing is confirming to me that I'm on point and that you're intimidated and that you're afraid. You worried about little old me. Why are they so worried about Dr.RÉ? Right? Why? I tell you why. Because I'm not afraid to hold that scepter in my hand and claim my power. And they're afraid that I'll influence you to do the same thing. I told y'all it's about influence. And they don't care what color you are. You get too much influence, they're going to try to gun you down. Too much influence, they're going to gun you down. Too many people listening to you, they got to gun you down. And not saying that they like Charlie Kirk. I didn't agree with most of the shit he said. It didn't matter. He had people's attention and he was being an influence over people. And it was cool at first when it was all grassroots. But the second you start going into the millions, oh, they don't like that shit. That's why they don't like Drake. I was just telling y'all that on the main page. I'm like, damn, why everybody hating on Drake so much? He ain't even trying to be a gangster or none of that. Why they hating on this nigga? Oh, his mama was a Jew. I'm like, no, that's some bullshit. That ain't why y'all hating on that, man. I started looking at his numbers. And I look at how many years he done been relevant and how many people was listening to him. He ain't even telling you to do nothing out the way. He just making nice music. But see, he not telling you to be a gangster. You don't got tattoos all over his neck and all over his face, looking like some goddamn psychopath. But most of y'all be looking crazy as shit with all that. That shit look crazy. That's not normal. Right? You've been possessed. He said he's been relevant since he was in the 5th grade. Yeah. And see, he's a positive influence. He's not a negative influence. He had a positive impact on your life. He didn't have a negative one. They don't like that shit. And they can't control him. They tried to make him be irrelevant and it didn't work. They did the same thing to Michael Jackson. That's why he bought the Michael Jackson glove. He trying to tell y'all. He trying to tell y'all. He's like, yo, I got that Michael Jackson effect. They don't like that shit. They turned Mike into a demigod. When the Germans built that big ass statue of Mike, that's their god, man. Michael Jackson is people's gods. They was like, turn this nigga into a child molester. We got to do something. We got to besmirch his character because he has too much influence on the world. They don't like that. They don't want nobody to have more influence on the world than them. That's insecurity. You serve a jealous God. You sitting up here worried about little old me. The second I got the 10,000 followers, they hurried up and bought TikTok. The government, they hurried up and bought that shit. Took my man to court, had him up on Capitol Hill talking about national security. That was some bullshit. Had that Timu version of Nick Fury up there talking all this shit about national security. That was some bullshit. And ever since they let that go through, my shit went down. They stopped me at about 30,000 followers. And my shit slowed up. I started only getting like 3 views, 10 views, 20 views. I'm like, damn, what the hell did I do wrong? Am I doing something wrong? Then they try to gaslight you. You know, if you want to get more followers, you need to do this and you need to do that. I'm like, that's some bullshit. I ain't had to do none of that shit to get to this point. You hear me? But they don't want nobody to be an influencer. They don't want you to influence too many people. They get intimidated by that. Because what that means is that their spell is wearing off and they can't influence people the way that they want to. And they can't influence Drake. They can't influence him. They sent Jay-Z at him, Kendrick Lamar, you know, all of the people he did songs with, all of them stood against him. And it's like, damn, why they hating on this dude? It's because he has an influence. That's all it's about. Same thing with Kanye West. They did the same thing to Kanye. And they tried to get Kanye to go in at Drake. He did a little bit, but he was like, nah, man, fuck that. I see what y'all trying to do. They hate that Kanye got an influence. They hate the influence. They don't like that. They want to be your biggest influence. You hear me? That's what's going on in this great day and time called Dr.RÉ. I ain't gonna hold you up. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't care how uncomfortable it makes you feel. I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm not gonna spare feelings. I'm not gonna adhere to your programming. I already got to do that enough just using the word God and using Bible references because you uninterested in a culture that reflects you. It's more white people interested in the Happy Now Valley than so-called black people. That you under a spell. How the hell do you bow to a white God that died on the cross and you praying to that shit for salvation? To do that, you don't know how idiotic you look to people from China, to people from Pakistan, to people from India. That's why they look at you like you crazy. They're like, damn, these niggas really spellbound. You gotta be really spellbound. I'm telling you, I stayed in the Bible Belt. I stayed in Atlanta for a long time. My family out of Alabama and Georgia. I've been in several people's home, and they got that little picture of white Jesus up on the wall. And I'd be trolling their ass. I'd be like, yo, who was that? It's like, you know who that is. I was like, no, who is it? That's the Son of God. I said, the Son of God? What color is this God? Oh, it don't matter what color he is. Then why you got this white motherfucker up on your wall? Oh, that's blasphemous. You're going to have to, you have to get out of my house with that. We're not going to have that up in here. You are spellbound. You hear me? You are spellbound. Something is wrong with your ass. I don't care what you say about it. Something's wrong. Something is off. The lights is home, but ain't nobody. The lights is on, but ain't nobody home. Just like when I say, they be like, man, don't you care about your black people? I'd be like, I don't know no black people. Yes, you do. I'm like, no, I don't know nobody that's black. You see this phone? That's black. You not that color. But you still call yourself black. You know what I'm saying? That's a spell. Your own divinity is telling you, like, you know you're not black. You kind of brown. You kind of peanut butter-like. You got a caramel color. You're not black, though. That divine voice in you be telling you that, and you still say that you black. That's a spell. Same thing for my pink brothers and sisters. You know goddamn well you're not white. This shirt is white. Yo, that little bit of divinity you got in your ass be telling you, you know you're not white, you're pink, you're translucent. Oh, I'm a white person. No, you're not. That's a spell. I might as well say that I'm fucking fluorescent yellow. I'm the color of a highlighter. I'm a highlight marker color. You'll be like, you're not that color. You're a black person. Like, no, I'm not black. I might as well say I'm fluorescent. If you're going to say that I'm black. And y'all be adhering to it. Stop adhering to the lies. That's the grimoire. The grimoire blocks your psychic center. You are not a human. You have a body that gives you access to the physical world and function as a human. This is your container, your vehicle. That's it. And people keep missing these points. And like I told y'all, a lot of y'all late in the game. I've been on this 30 years. 30 years. That's crazy. I remember I felt like a neophyte forever. It took a long time for me not to feel like a neophyte. But I was just like, damn, people still sleep? 2010? Niggas are still sleep? 2020? That's why I say I'm here for you people that it took COVID for you to wake up. If it took you to be quarantined in your house to become awakened, you late. Especially if you 40 or over. You've been playing with your life. You've been allowing them to play with your life. Too long. That shit hardwired in. You got to uninstall those programs. Or you won't, you're not going to make it over the archway. You're going to be trapped and stuck with that programming. And like I said, too many people that put their life on the line for this, man. You act like something better is going to be there for you. It's not. You know what happens? You're going to be like, I could be right up here with the white folks. And they're going to be like, nigger. You're like, so what? He called me a nigger. He just one. They hit you upside the head with some shit. Get your ass away from here, nigger. We don't want you around here. Right? And you're like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to raise my kids around this shit. No, you get the hell away from them. You see what just happened with one brother, Carmelo Anthony? Why his name had to be Carmelo Anthony? You think that's a coincidence? I felt like that was a promotion for Carmelo Anthony and his podcast. I'm just keeping it 10K with you. I see through the smoke screens. And yes, that little nigga was wrong. I don't care if they was fucking with you. You knew that them white boys ain't want to be fucking with you. They probably called you nigger all through high school. Why'd you around them? You know they don't want to fuck with you. You still want to just be their friend. Because you see your mama and your daddy kowtowing to them. Them days is over with, man. It's a whole new paradigm. You better get with it. Y'all better get with the new paradigm. I'm telling you, Pa Rudy paradigm. You might as well get with it. And stop paying them attention. They living off your attention and your mental energy. Energy flows where your attention goes. And if you put whatever you focus and concentrate on, it's going to expand. And it's expanding off of your energy. You could just get that energy to yourself. You ever seen how fine a sister look? She don't even have to be dressed up or nothing. Like, damn, that girl fine as hell. Her face pretty. Her hair look all nice and kingly, right? And curly. You could tell she done combed through her hair. Got on some lip gloss. Don't even put on no makeup or nothing. Just looking good. Body all tight. Waist all snatched without having to get the little stuff done. That's because that sister put her attention on herself. You hear me? And it expanded. The attention she gave to herself, now everybody else could see it. Same thing for a brother. He be in the gym all the time. He go get his crispy line up. You hear me? He be wearing the tight shirts. And the women be like smelling good and shit. Dressing crispy. The women gonna be at that brother because he paying attention to himself. You got to pay attention to yourself. People be worried about everything else but themselves. Put the focus on yourself. Stop worrying about what everybody else got going on. The more that you worry about what everybody else got going on, the more ugly you appear to other people. Because you ain't put that attention on yourself. Like, damn, you should have went and washed your face or something this morning. What the fuck going on with this motherfucker? You know what I mean? It's like, man, why you got time like that? Put that attention on yourself. All the older women, hey, handsome. How you doing, handsome? You smell nice. Every time, you know, the silver foxes, I can't even say the cougars because I'm at the cougar age. They be letting me know. Like, oh, you be working out? Like, yeah, you can tell, thank you. I keep it moving. But I'm just saying, I'm using that as an example. He said the Pumas. The Pumas be at my ass. But I'm telling you, shouts out to Supreme Shot Time. What's up, Shot Time? Hey, loved one. That happens because I'm paying attention to myself. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter where I go. Everybody gonna turn around and look. And it ain't because I'm making them look. It's because everybody in the proximity of wherever I step into, they're not paying attention to themselves at the rate that I'm paying attention to myself. And my magnetism make them pay attention to. Now it started getting to the point. It didn't slow down a little bit now, but I'll just be out in the public somewhere and somebody be like, hey, that's that dude from TikTok. I'm telling you, that's him. I'll be hearing them talking. I don't ever turn around. But they be saying that shit. You hear me? Your attention is very powerful. And I remember the doc used to say you could think the evil one out of existence. Said you could think the devil out of existence. Don't just stop thinking about the motherfucker and watch him disappear. Don't try. He's an imp. What you're calling the devil, the evil one, is an imp. Smaller than a gnome. It's an evil gnome. And that gnome, when you stop thinking about it and stop paying it attention, it gets smaller and smaller to the point it don't even fucking matter no more. You ain't paying that shit no attention. Why you think they so hard on ratings? They're all about the ratings. How many people are watching? That way we can charge for marketing. And the people who attention we got, you can market your stuff to it, and that's more attention put on what you got to offer. And the more eyes is on it, the more attention it receives, the higher the probability of it expanding and more people being in alignment with it. It's very simple. It's not even deep and methodical, man. But you had to uninstall a program because it's programmed to make you doubt yourself. It's programmed to make you fear you. It's programmed to make you uncertain. It's programmed to make you fear. You pay more attention to the shit you don't want than the shit that you do, you're going to end up with the shit you don't want. Pay more attention to the stuff that you do. You keep focusing and thinking about the shit you don't want, that shit is going to come into your life real fast. You start thinking about the things you do want, it might take some time, but guess what? That shit on its way, and it's going to come. Every time. Just stop worrying. Stop. Shouts out to Bobby McFarlane. May the ancestors be with him. He made up that song, Don't Worry, Be Happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Ooh, do, 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 do. They hurried up and took that song off the radio. Like, oh, we don't need people hearing that shit. That's the devil, man. That's the devil. The evil. Right? The man. We not having that crap no more, man. Them days is over with. I told y'all, we are pioneering a new paradigm. Whether you with us or not, I don't really give a damn. It ain't gonna make or break me. Whether you rocking with me or not. Because we are doers and deciders. And your decisions determine your destiny. You hear me? You just got to make the right decision. You got to stop making poor decisions. Stop thinking about 5 minutes in front of you. Most people can't think past 5 minutes in front of them. They had ability to think long range. They think too short. They didn't think about next week and the week after that. They thought the world was going to end on Friday or some shit. And that's another thing. Stop listening to these people that's making these fake ass forecasts and prophecies for you, telling you this shit is gonna happen on this day and that day. And then when it don't happen, they got some excuse or they'll hurry up and duck. Hey, I thought that this was gonna happen. Yeah, they heard us talking about it and they switched everything. Man, get out of here with that. We ain't got no more time for that shit. Oh, all of the banks is going to close on July the 4th, and then everything's going to end, and you're going to see, and then Big Mama's going to come out and stop listening to that mess. Live your fucking life. I mean, Brother Polite done already pulled that shit on y'all once before, telling you to prepare everything going to end in 2012. Had niggas all gassed up on that shit, and ain't shit happened. 2013 came. Right? And then 2014. And then 2015. Right? That was like 11 years ago. Like, damn. Like, hey, Doc, you hear what they say? You hear what Brother Polite said? Everything gonna end in 2013. I was like, fuck that little bony ass nigga. He don't know that. Y'all listening to that shit? Yeah, man, but he said this and he said that. And he said something that the doc said. I don't give a fuck about what he's saying. Nigga, your light bill, your rent, all that shit still gonna be fucking due. Play if you want to. Play if you want to. Oh, all the courts is gonna shut down and the police departments is gonna. Man, y'all better wake up and break that spell first and start questioning these people too. Start questioning them. That's why I tell y'all to ask me questions. Y'all let these motherfuckers just run their damn mouth and don't question shit they got to say. And then after they done fucked you over, oh, I always knew something was wrong with that dude. No, you didn't. You was afraid. You've been programmed to be in fear. You better question their ass. Question the shit out their ass. Motherfucker come in here talking some goofy shit, I'm going to question the shit out of you. I'm not letting you get out of here without getting a couple of questions off on your ass. And I know you're full of shit because you ain't going to stand up to the questioning. It's just like Pastor Porkchop. He don't allow you to ask questions. It's blasphemous for you to ask Pastor Porkchop a question. How dare you? You hear me? You can't go ask Father Anthony nothing at the Catholic Church. Can't ask him no questions that you know he can't answer. They gonna remove you. The imam at your mosque will kill your ass. They'll blow your ass up. And the Muslims is way fanatical radical. They're radical fanaticals that will blow themselves up in the name of a being that they never even seen with their physical eye. They have no empirical data to prove that even exists. Think that shit was waiting for them? Oh, I'm going to have 4 virgins in the river flowing with milk and honey. Who the fuck want a river of milk and honey? That's milk comes from a cow. Honey is produced by bees, and they both occupy the earth. You mean to tell me it's milk in the afterlife? That's some bullshit. Y'all better wake up, man. Y'all better wake up and start questioning that shit and uninstalling these programs. Uninstall these programs. People been around for years. I see the way that they put Dolores Cannon into the algorithm. Them videos of Dolores Cannon. I remember Dolores Cannon when she was a younger Dolores, and she didn't look old and like a library teacher. She was never really attractive to me, but you know what I mean? She looked a little youthful and Somebody will like her. You know, she has some type of appeal for a woman of her age. And now she an old ass woman. But I've been around long enough to see her reach her apex. Same thing, they don't ever tell you about Nancy Leiter. Shouts out to Nancy Leiter and Zeta Talk, ZetaTalk.com. They ain't gonna even tell you about her. Because she exposed so much shit, it's crazy. They don't want you to know about none of that type of shit. They want you to be ignorant. And they can only keep you ignorant by keeping you detracted, and putting your attention where they tell you to put it. I don't pay that shit no attention. They said it's the hottest summer in the sun. I've been telling y'all that the last 2 years. Have I not? I said that the axis on the planet is going from a 23-degree tilt to a 45-degree tilt. It's going to get hotter. The days is going to be longer. All right? And by 2033, your planet going to be on a 90-degree axis. You ain't going to have no nighttime. You're going to have a very small window of nighttime. They're going to start putting the clock back 2 hours to attempt to make up and compensate for the way that the devil is calculating time. And it's not going to add up no more. His time is up. His time been up. Y'all the ones that keep extending these motherfuckers' time. Stop giving them more time. Just stop paying their ass attention. I told y'all 3 years ago, boycott Christmas. No more Christmas. No Thanksgiving. No Halloween. Save your money in the fourth quarter. You hear me? If you went to the stock, short order that shit. Short your stocks in the goddamn last quarter. All of them. And pull all your money out of that bullshit. And watch their ass start getting in alignment with you. Watch all of these grants and all this shit start, and money start getting printed out of nowhere. Motherfuckers gonna start knocking on your door asking you what you need without you having to do nothing. But you got to stand on business like the Asians do. Yeah, it was fucked up what that Asian dude did to that little boy. You was fucking wrong for that. And you got hell on your hands. They let his ass go too. But that's a whole nother story in itself. But when it comes to them Orientals and they go up against that pink man hurry up and bend. He bend the knee like House of Dragons. He'll bend the knee real fast because they stick together. They already not into your Christmas. They don't care about your Thanksgiving. They don't care about your Jesus. They don't even spend their money with you. You will be hard pressed to find an Asian or Oriental person at a gas station. How many of y'all seen Asian people at the gas station? Don't lie. Don't lie. You don't see them at the gas station. You don't see them in the grocery store. They got their own grocery store. And everything in there written in their language. They don't give a fuck. They're like, fuck them. And we gonna collect your money. And we not gonna pay taxes. And we gonna get the fuck over. And doing it. You walk into their establishment, they got an altar right at the door. You go into their home, they got an altar right in their home. Only altar most of us have is for our fucking television. Every so-called black person house I go into, they got an altar for their TV, but they don't got an altar for their grandmother. And wonder why they program. That's why you're programmed. Y'all better wake up, man. Y'all better wake up. Because I don't want to know who said that. I don't know if Nine Magazine, somebody said that. And it's like, y'all sleep. Y'all been sleeping way too long. And you think something is going to reach out the sky and come save you. The helping hand that you seek is at the end of your arm. The helping hand that you seek is at the end of your arm. That's all you had to do. You got to save yourself. And these cell phones ain't making it no better. I ain't don't even divulge into that. How that radiation tearing up your auric field, tearing it up, throwing off your endocrine system, throwing off your, what they call your circadian rhythm. You're not even in alignment with the sun. That's why I tell y'all to put your feet in the grass and go inhale some sunlight. And align yourself with the sun. So you can get the equilibrium of serotonin and melatonin distributed into your body. Most people got too much cortisol. Now they starting to put it in through the AI. The AI chatbot starting to make videos about the cortisol. And the cortisol up under your neck. You got two necks, or two chins. You got flabby arms. You got an extra bloated stomach. Right? Say, what's the best time for the sun? It doesn't matter. But you need to get out there about 10 minutes and inhale the sunlight. Put your feet in the grass, not your shoes, not your socks, your feet. Plant them in the grass. And what you want to do is hold your hands up in the sky like this. Lift your head back and inhale the sunlight at each chakra point. 1 for the feet, 2 for the root, 3 for the sacral, 6 exhales. At each chakra point, you want to be inhaling that sunlight. Watch how you feel after you do that. Not just staring at the sun. Some people just stare at the sun. That ain't doing shit. Inhale the photonic light energy into your body. Once that light gets into your body and it starts to integrate into the cells in your body, and it starts to store the photonic energy in every nucleus of every cell in your body, now you have grown in alignment with the sun. You be out there in the sun enough, the sun will feed you. You don't need to eat a meal. Just get you enough, inhale enough sunlight. And we got a lot of different techniques I show the people in the community. And that shit is working for them. They tapped in. Right? I step outside, the sun gonna come out even brighter, even though it's setting right now. I would say do it before the sun begins to set. Make sure that you inhale that sunlight. You ain't got to be out in the sun all damn day. Not in case you're cutting grass or some shit. But other than that, just inhale the sunlight. Give it about 10 minutes. Inhale to each chakra junction in your body. And you can go back down the chakras if you want to. And give your body a nice photonic charge. Get a nice plasmatic charge. And give it a nice ionic charge. Right? Make sure you get those 3 things in place. And do that on a daily basis, especially if you stay in a cold weather climate. If you stay where it's cold and you know it's going to be snowing, you better take advantage of every day that the sun is shining. I told you guys, it's like the grasshopper and the ant. I said that on my main page. You can be like the grasshopper and think that you got time and you could just bullshit and, hey, man, it's all good. Oh, I missed it this time, but it's all good. It'll be another time. Oh, shit, man, I don't feel like that. And then when it start getting cold, now your ass ready to start lining up with the sun. Not knowing, listen, that the winds of time are knocking on your door every winter. And it's depleting your life force every winter that you endure a wintry month. That's why you think a whole bunch of Caucasian people move to Florida once they get older. All the Canaanites move right to Florida. Even though that sun burning their ass up, they rather endure that than the impact of a winter wind and the effect that it has on their life force. Same thing for so-called black people. They hurry up and move. When they get older, they move to because they can feel the winds of time knocking on their door. You don't got a lot of time here. You got 75 winners if you lucky. 100 at best. That's not a lot of time. You spend 12 years of your life being conditioned by the grimoires of hell. You call that school. You spend 15 years being entertained. That's 27 years of your life in 2 moves. You spend 15 years of your life working, right? That's 57 years of your life in 3 moves, or 47 years, excuse me. Then you spend 24 years in the bathroom. That's 66 years of your life in 4 moves. You spend 24 years in the bathroom, 15 working, 15 being entertained, and 12 years in school. That's 66 years of your life. They done already got you figured out for 4 moves. If you're not 66 years old, you need to be leveraging your time against all that shit and start tapping into your divinity. Start aligning yourself with the sun, the planet, and your dearly departed, and connecting to your ancestors. Period. Because you're not going to be here for 1,000 years. Are you prepared for what's next after here? If you're not, it's a high probability you're going to end up in some form of purgatory or limbo. And you're going to be trapped there because it's going to be of your own making or what you thought this matrix actually was. And you don't have that time. You don't have that luxury of time to waste being distracted and detracted by the Dajjal, the Cabal, and the Luciferians. You have no time for that. You might think you do. You don't. See what happened in Venezuela? And see, that's a lack of foresight. Because that whole little city that got crushed, I think the Heart Project has something to do with that. But that whole shit is sitting on faulty land. That land is too soft to be building shit on. That just don't make sense. I don't see how people build homes where you know it's earthquakes. Oh, it ain't been an earthquake in 100 years. Well, shit, you ready for that motherfucker to erupt? You think that you're too special that it won't happen in your lifetime? Really? And then when it do happen, oh my God, help me. It's a natural disaster. No, you build your home where nature takes place. Oh yeah, they're excavating all the minerals out the land. They're doing a lot of child trafficking. There's a lot of that shit going. They got about 2 or 3 reasons why they did that shit. They want to take over the oil, for one. They want to kidnap the children, for 2. They always say the little girls. No, it'll be little boys too. They like little boys. But that's another story. We don't even go there. Already got 2 strikes, right? But you're right. And they trying to get that oil out of Venezuela. In Venezuela, just north of Venezuela, off the coast of Venezuela is Epstein Island. Think that's a coincidence? Same thing with Haiti. It's the same type of thing with Haiti. The shit in Haiti, yeah, Venezuela. North of Venezuela is Epstein Island. Think that's a coincidence? And then they got all these little children missing. They can't find none of the little children. Them fault lines is faulty that they building these cities on. I be looking at places to live in the United States. And in certain parts in Oklahoma, man, they paying people to move there and live there. They'll pay you to come and live there. Because don't nobody want to live down Tornado Alley. Who the fuck want to build their house where tornadoes come? Make that make sense. And then the tornado blow your house down. Oh my God, look at it's a natural disaster. No, that's not a natural disaster. You built your home in the pathway where nature shows its fury, and you increase the probability for you to be a victim of nature. Instead of respecting nature and respecting its boundaries. And people stay right there in Hurricane Alley in parts of Florida. Man, you know the hurricane gonna come. Why the hell you want to live around that shit? Wait a second. Why do you want people to have empathy for you if you become victimized by the hurricane? You know what's gonna happen there. It happens every year. You're not special. You gotta be spellbound. You have to be spellbound. I'm not living nowhere near no water, and I'm a water being. I like water. But I'm not about to be living by that shit, and I know a hurricane could come. I'm not going to purchase a home by that shit, and I know it could flood out. That don't make sense. That's just asinine. Why would I want to do that? I don't see how people live in Louisiana. That shit look like it's just all water. And trust me, I done been through there several times. Several times. And when I say several, I mean more than 5. I've been through there more than 5 times. More than 10. And it's just speckles of land. It's mostly water. It's patches of water everywhere. If you ain't getting the way you gotta go before that sun come up, it be so much fog you can't even see shit. Long ass bridge going across the water. Who wanna, like, come on, man. I'm not taking no chance like that. Why? Why do it? And all them people that stay in California and in them areas where you know that it's dry and see all them damn fires, and they set the fire. You know the devil gonna set them fires themselves. They don't care. They don't have to live there. They like, shit, we got homes everywhere. Just burn that shit. All them people displaced, they still ain't got nowhere to go right now. But they ain't showing you that. Y'all remember them fires that happened in California? People still ain't got nowhere to go. Don't nobody even care. But you a god. You a goddess though. And ain't even aware of that shit. We got to get out of these delusions, man. That shit is not helping nobody. We got to start looking at everything in a practical, rational way. I see some little children. This happened to me last month. I'm coming home. I'm listening to my little high frequency guru. Shouts out to high frequency guru. I'm listening to high frequency guru. And it's the beginning of summer. So, you know, the children out of school. And I see some little elementary kids playing at the park in my subdivision. And my intuition said, don't turn, go straight and pull up at the park. I pulled up at the park and there was some freakazoid sitting there just looking at the kids play. And I know he wasn't none of their daddies, but it was still kind of early. You know what I mean? And I've seen the little rugrats in the neighborhood before. I said, I'm about to sit here and see what the fuck this nigga do. And he was a freaky little old crazy looking white dude too. He was looking around. He seen my car. He seen me just park right there. He thought I was about to get out the car and go into one of them houses, but I didn't. I just sat there and I looked at his ass. Then I got out the car and continued to look at him. I said, if I get out this car and I lean on the car and he get up and leave, I'm going to take a picture of his whole ass. And sure enough, I got up and I stood up and leaned on the car and I looked dead at him. I wasn't paying attention to none of the children and what they was doing. I just looked at his ass. And he got up and left. Y'all better be careful with y'all children out here. Y'all be seeing these Amber Alerts. But y'all don't pay attention to your intuitive promptings. The evil one is aware of that. And they'd jump right in the body of one of their constituents and have them come scoop one of your children. You better be careful. That motherfucker hurried up and scurried up the street. I see that dude again, I'll bat his ass down. Just on GP. Because you got up and left. And if you would have sat down and pulled out a newspaper or something, I probably would have eased off. But just for the simple fact that he seen I didn't get out my car, he'd seen a reason to be uncomfortable now. Like, oh, this motherfucker done peeped me. That's right, I done peeped you. And ain't none of them children yours. You ain't even nowhere near them. And they might have been strong a little bit, but no elementary kid can fend for themselves against an adult. I'm sorry, they can't. And I care for the children. That's who I give a fuck about, man, is these children. They don't have nobody. They can't defend themselves. They can't defend themselves from being victimized from somebody that's an adult. They don't even have enough mental acuity to know when they're being manipulated. That's not their fault. But they got to learn that lesson from your snake ass? Nah. Most of my petitions are for the children, the elderly, and the forgotten. That's what I make petitions for. Because my people good. I keep ancestor money on deck. I'm the treasurer. I'm a treasurer of ancestor money. So my people good, and they doing their part on their side too, as far as distributing their offerings to those in the afterlife that may needed this in the range of their assistance. That's what draw people to this room. Y'all think it's something else. I'm telling you, that's what it is. And we done been too many, as so-called black people in the Western world, we done been too many generations without venerating our people, without giving reverence and respect to their memory. We don't tell their stories. We disenfranchise. You only know one side of your family. You only know one side of your family, you in trouble. You better learn who your family is, because it took both sides of your family in order for you to exist. You got to acknowledge that, man. That is no flex having a baby daddy or your children not having your last name or their father's last name. And not like you think you're doing something, you're decreasing the probability of you incarnating back into that same bloodline again. They're not going to want you back. I told you, you got 100 years here at best. And this is from the ancestral plane. They the ones that's telling me to tell y'all this shit. You got 100 years at best. You better make best with those years. You better do the right shit. Or they not going to want you to come back into their bloodline. They'll send your ass to fucking... they'll send your ass to Rwanda. You be on the chopping block with the machete, with the machete mafia. You hear me? You'll end up in one of those canisters. And see, that's a whole nother story in itself. I don't think people don't be ready for that degree of truth. It's degrees of truth that you have to be ready for, but you have to uninstall programs that the six ether albino man has conditioned you to accept, so that you can have the discernment to see the deceit that's being put before you. I can't put it no more simpler than that for you. I really can't. It's like, yo, man. But y'all can do it. You gonna do it. We are doing it. We already in. Our community is growing every week. And I ain't checked my website yet, but I'm sure I got a couple of people on there. I already know I do. And I talk to all. I take the time to talk to all of them. Right? Talk to everybody in there. Shouts out to Victory. I talked to Victory. M2 Gaius. I don't know. M2 Gaius, we had a conversation. I know 210. And chop it up with him. And that's it. Shot time, we need to get you in the community. Yeah. But I'm going to reach out to you. If I got the time, I'm going to chop it up with you for a minute. Right? But everybody in the community has dialogue with me. They then have some consultation if they need it. Many of them get readings. And should be falling right in alignment. It ain't nothing that I have to try. We beyond trying at this point. You're using the word try, and maybe you ain't doing it right. You got to be on an insistent frequency. You better start moving with that Ashe Bop. After a year with Dr.RÉ, you should be moving with an Ashe Bop, and shit should be adhering to you. But you got to be adhering to the promptings that you get. You can't ignore them. Don't ignore your promptings. You get an intuitive prompting to do something and you ignore it. It come again, you ignore it again. It come a third time and you doubting what the fuck you seeing. Why you doubting it? You see it to happen a third time, stop doubting it. After that, they just start ignoring you. And it's forces that see you get ignored by the forces that's been trying to get your attention, and then they come at you. And they ain't got nothing but something bad for you. Bunch of doubt, uncertainty, and confusion, and delusion. False expectations appearing to be real. Right? That's what that's all they got for you. And you rather put your attention on that and make that grow than to ignore it and put your attention on what you do want and make that grow. And I go through this every day in the community room. And we going back in tomorrow, you guys. Well, all my tech members that's in here and people on the other side of the wall. We going back in tomorrow. I'm gonna be in there early. It's gonna be about a 10 o'clock, maybe 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Might be 10 o'clock. I might come in earlier than that. I see when I come in early, a lot of y'all show up in the community room, right? But we'll go back over it again. We got 7 more days into the new moon. Hopefully you guys got your intentions prepared for the moon magic. And remember, I told you, you do not have to find something ungraspable. Find something very comprehensible, something graspable, something rational that you're capable of materializing within the cycles of the new moon to the full moon, right? And focus on the one that's internal, because that's what's most essential. Y'all know mine. Think positive. I don't care what it looked like. You better think positive, speak positivity, and be positive as possible in order to get a positive result. In this great day and time called Dr.RÉ, I'm going to get on up out of here. I done been on the TikTok almost 8 hours. Been on here almost 8 hours with y'all last. I could teach all day. We could go all night. But my battery about to go dead again. I need to let this one charge up again. All right? So that's that, you guys. We're going to get on up out of here. May the ancestors be with you. May the gods of wealth and fortune maintain them continuously. And may the Most High bless you with the peaceful night rest and the early rise in the AM. I've been your beloved brother, Dr.RÉ, OrgoniteTEK. Don't forget about, you welcome, beloved, July the 25th. That's the next event. Then we got the Lionsgate Portal in August. Lionsgate Portal, August the 8th. That'll be at 8 a.m. And we also will be redoing it again at 8 p.m. Making sure that you guys get in alignment with the Happy Now Valley New Year and the Orion star constellation will be available in our sky on August the 8th. The 74-day period will have passed and we'll be going into the new year. All right? So peace and love, and the ancestors be with you. My dude.